Hello and welcome to this edition of the Indiana State Police Public Information Program. I'm your host, Sergeant Dave Burston, Indiana State Police Public Information Office. This edition, we find ourselves into the dog days of summer, and we're going to be talking about the camps for children and also about the State Police Museum. Now, unfortunately, we're too far into the season for your children to participate in the various state police career camps, youth camps, and pioneer camps, but you can learn about them for next year and copy down the information so you can learn more about costs and times and everything that's involved with it. To take you through that, you'll be meeting Sergeant Ray Poole, who will be interviewing Master Trooper Dave Verhonick, who's in charge of coordinating all of these different events. Plus, at the end of the show, we'll be taking a tour through the State Police Museum, or more appropriately called the Indiana State Police Youth Education and Historical Center. So please stay tuned. We've got a good program for you, but first, stay tuned for these messages.
Did you know Indiana has a new seatbelt law? As of July 1st, police officers can stop you for not wearing your seatbelt.
Children under 4 must be in a child restraint seat.
And children 4 through 11 must be secured by either a child restraint seat or seat belt.
Too often we have seen the tragedy of adults and children injured and killed in crashes because they were not restrained. So please, buckle up. Not just because it's the law, but because it's the safe thing to do.
You better think again before cutting in front of that truck. It takes trucks twice as long to stop as cars. There's a no zone in front of that truck. Crashes happen when cars cut in front of trucks. So, look for the whole front of the truck in your rearview mirror and signal before pulling in, and then don't slow down. Drive smart. Don't hang out in the no zone.
Welcome back. I'm Sergeant Ray Poole, Indiana State Police Public Information Officer for the central part of Indiana. And today we're interviewing here at the Indiana State Police Youth Education and Historical Center. We're going to talk about the youth service camps and also talk about the building here as we are talking to the gentleman to my right, Master Trooper Dave Verhonick. As I mentioned earlier, this is where most of the artifacts are stored for the state police, some of the old relics and some of the new things that are coming about. There's several cars out here and several, weapons on display and different things like that. And we also are fortunate enough to speak to Trooper Verhonick about the different types of youth services camps that are offered here for the state police. And Dave, how are you doing today?
Fine, Ray. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much. Can you tell us a little bit about the Indiana State Police youth camps and kind of what they stand for?
Sure, Ray. As you well know, our camp started in 1971, and we've been running camps ever since that. We have several different types of camps for young people, both males and females, from grades 5 all the way up through grades 12. And we have 19 different camps. 7 of those are law camps, and 12 of those are law camps, and 7 of those are camps that we call first offender or probation camps.
Now, you're talking about these camps. What type of kids can attend these camps?
Well, actually, the law camps, for the most part, Ray, are for kids who have an interest or a bent towards law enforcement. Any young person can attend the camps. We try to keep the camps for the first offenders for kids who are referred to us by probation departments or by welfare departments, or even sometimes parents tell us that they just can't seem to do anything with their young people. So we have 7 camps for kids such as that.
Okay, so what you're saying is if a kid or a child has been entered into the legal system or has been recommended by a probation officer, those are the type of kids that we want at these camps.
Right. Those are what we call our JC Junior Pioneer campouts, and they're run at state parks.
Okay, so what about the kids who are just looking for something to do in the summertime, such as the kids who are in 5th through maybe even high school age? What type of camps do you have for these kids?
Well, in the 5th and 6th grade, Ray, we have camps called Respect for Law camps, and we have 7 of those at colleges and universities like Notre Dame, Taylor, Vincennes, Hanover, Marion College. And we have 2 junior high school age camps, which are called law camps. and they're at Taylor and Vincennes University. And then we also have 2 career camps, which are held at Huntington College and Vincennes University. And these are for kids, as I said, kids primarily who are interested in having a good time as well as learning a little more about police work.
Well, you know, I've been fortunate enough to be involved with camps for, probably 11 years, and I've been on the staff, and I've also been the director of camps. And I tell you, personally, there's just a great time. We, get the kids discipline. We teach them respect for themselves.
Exactly.
And is that what we're looking for?
Yeah, Ray, you know that our camps were born out of an era when police officers were looking for some respect. And these camps are a way that we help develop rapport between officers like yourself who do a wonderful job of counseling and directing our camps, and the young person out in the world who is looking for really some role models, and guys like yourself and the other counselors that we have that give so much of themselves really give these young people someone to look up to.
So with that, naturally, can any police officer, and even that, can a civilian person maybe volunteer their services for the camps?
Absolutely. We all of our camps are directed by state police officers like yourself, but we have counselors from city, county, federal departments, police departments that work our camps, and there's even some volunteers. We have Optimus volunteers, Kiwanis volunteers, Lions volunteers, and JC volunteers that help staff our camps all over the state. And to be real honest with you, we could not do it without these volunteer organizations.
Now, what part do these volunteer service clubs play a part in our camps as far as funding and donations?
Absolutely. The Optimus, the Lions, the Kiwanis, the JCs, and the National Guard all offer, and sometimes manpower support. They offer scholarship support for young people who may not otherwise be able to afford to go to camps, and they even offer support in sometimes even transportation to and from camps and helping us coordinate the camps.
Like I mentioned earlier, camps, they're just something that is near and dear to my heart. Mm-hmm. And a lot of officers find out once they get involved with camps how fun they are.
Sure.
You volunteer most of their time.
Mm-hmm.
Naturally we get paid, or we're there 8.5 hours a day for a regular duty shift. But
yeah,
when you spend the whole 24 hours there and you get to know the young children,
right,
I think that's something very special.
Absolutely. And I think that oftentimes these relationships carry over from year to year, and kids come back to our camps. A lot of young people who have gone to our camps go on to be camp directors or police officers themselves. And that relationships that you develop there at the camp is something that kids carry for a lifetime.
Exactly. Now, how can someone maybe get a hold of some information, some type of information for the camps? Where should they call, and where should they get the brochures or different applications for camps?
Well, we have 19 state police departments across the state where a young person could either ask to be sent an application or pick up an application, or you can call me here at the State Police Museum, and I'd be happy to mail them one. We have a toll-free number statewide, and that number is 1-888-ISP-YOUTH. 1-888-ISP-YOUTH, and that averages out to 1-888-477-9688.
That's for people that like me that can't spell or whatever. Now, one of the other things I would like to talk about is some of the activities that take place at the 2 different camps. You have the JC Pioneer Camp, which is more of a camp-out type of camp, and then you have the leadership type camps. Can you explain some of the activities that take place?
Oh, sure, I'd be happy to, Ray. As you know, at our Pioneer camps, they're held at state parks. And at state parks, of course, we use a lot of the facilities there, the swimming pools, the trails, a lot of the rustic type facilities to give these young people a sense of the outdoors. In addition, we also bring in some state police officers, maybe some of our specialty teams like our bomb squad and our helicopters and different things such as this to kind of give those young people a feel for what we actually do.
Now, are these kids actually cooking their own meals and preparing their own meals, or are they catered in?
Well, both. We do a little bit of both. They do, in some cases, they even go out and fish and catch the fish and bring them in and cook them. But in other cases, some of the meals are brought in. So we try to give them a little bit of responsibility there, but there's also some help that comes in from the JCs as well as the National Guards at these camps.
Exactly. So now talking about the leadership camps.
Yes.
What type of activities are planned for those type of kids?
Well, at our Respect for Law Camp, and Career Camp, of course, once again, we have a lot of state police officers that come in and do programs. Like I've already mentioned, our aviation section, the helicopters, we bring in some state police dogs, we bring in a lot of bomb squads come in and do demonstrations, and we have a lot of special speakers, like maybe from our laboratory or from some of the different types of criminal investigation facilities that we have. And then, of course, we have a lot of exciting outside speakers. And you know, Ray, of course, being a camp director, each camp director kind of sets his own program.
Exactly.
And what we try to do is to make sure that that program doesn't duplicate itself from year to year. And so a kid going for Respect for Law Camp for a couple of years, the program won't be duplicated, and a kid going from the Respect for Law Camp to the Law Camp, the program won't duplicate itself. And then, of course, our career camp or our high school camp is ran a lot like our actually our ISP recruit school, and so there's some testing that goes on there, but still a lot of fun kind of experience. That's the bottom line. Kids having a good time, but yet still getting a feel for if they want to be a police officer or not.
Now, can you tell me the length of these camps? Say the Respect for Law Camp, I know is 3 days.
Yes.
And as you get older, you progress more in days.
Yeah, what we've got now is the Respect for Law Camp is actually 3 days and 2 nights. The Law Camp is 4 days and 3 nights, and the Career Camp is 5 days and 4 nights. And then our Pioneer Camps are 4 days and 3 nights. So we get a lot of variation there. And, of course, the little longer the camps, the fee goes up a little bit, but the camps are really affordable. So any kid that we try to keep those camper fees low, and once again, those service clubs help us do that. The Optimus, Lions, JCs, and Kiwanis help us keep those camper fees low so that any kid can go to camp.
So are some of the service clubs, do they offer donations or do they offer scholarships, or can a child get scholarships from other people, such as business owners or different places like that?
Well, yeah, I guess they could, but, you know, these primarily Optimists are affiliated with Respect for Law. The Lions primarily sponsor the Law Camp or the Junior High Camp, and the Kiwanis primarily sponsor the Career Camp, and the JCs primarily sponsor the JC Pioneer Camp out.
And these kids can maybe sometimes get assistance from some of the service clubs to go to camp.
Absolutely, yes. And if they need that kind of help, they should either contact their local service representative, or if they don't know who that is, call us once again here at our museum at our toll-free number, 888-477-9688.
Very good. Now, what about some of the information that the families, the parents, and the children, where can they obtain some of this information, such as the brochures and applications?
Right. Well, of course, here at our museum, we're on the east side of Indianapolis, 21st at Post, any of the 19 state police posts around the state. But we also do mailings to all school principals in the state, as well as mailing to all of the service club presidents. So service club representatives, school principals or counselors, as well as state police posts.
Absolutely. This has been a wonderful experience for our viewers, and I want to kind of mention that our camp season is winding down for 1998, yes. But some of the information that Master Trooper Verhonik gave us, it can be helpful for next year. And really, like you said, the information and the activities somewhat change a little bit, and if we have some interested viewers in coming, you know, they should get a hold of you, correct?
Absolutely. Get a hold of me, or maybe even yourself as a camp director. And I want to say, without getting away here, that these state police officers, Ray mentioned it earlier, and he's pretty humble about it, these guys give a lot of their time and energy to make sure these camps are a success. And I know they're a success because I see the kids as they come out. And, you know, the hardest part about going to our camps a lot of times, Ray, as you know, is leaving because of the relationships that are developed there.
Exactly.
And these guys give a lot of their time. They get paid for 8.5, but they work about 22 hours a day.
Well, I want to thank you for the compliment, and I also want to thank you for a brief information on the camps. And when we return, we want to talk about the building that we're in, the Indiana State Police Youth Education Historical Center.
Posing? Say a few words.
What else you want me to do?
Say cut.
Get the keys. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
These are members of the Bentel family. On a Sunday in September, they went to church, and afterwards they met the driver of this truck on an Indiana highway. He hit their car head-on. One major problem: none of them were wearing seatbelts. This is Michael, here's Megan, this is Cassidy, and Cheryl Bentel. I thought this would only happen to you, but this happened in my family.
Wearing a seatbelt in Indiana, don't take it lightly.
Well, at first it started out kind of hard, more than we expected. We didn't get really an itinerary or anything, nothing to plan for. When we came here, it started out really hard, but as the week progressed, it became easier. I mean, it was the same thing, but because we were doing it, then it became easier. There was a lot of high motivation throughout the week.
Good. Did you have...
we had our highs and lows.
Good.
This week was a lot of fun, and the high point was getting to go and see the firearms demonstration, and that was a lot of fun.
My second year, and it's so far have been better than last year. I've done a lot of things since last time, and this time last night we had to go out and do physical training at 9 o'clock, and we had to run around a track a whole bunch of different times. I didn't know I could do it. I fell behind and I still jogged and walked, and I almost started crying because it was emotional for me, and I was real proud of myself.
Learn a little bit more about yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. You think this experience at career camp this week is a good experience for you, or a good experience for any young person wanting to know a little more about law enforcement?
Oh yes, it is a very good experience. It gives a chance for let them know what's going to be going on during academy, what you're going to be getting into, how much you have to put into it.
Okay. How about your counselors here this week?
They're the best.
They're the best. Okay.
They're the best. I mean, they work right with you. If you have a problem, they're right there for you no matter what, and they build you up.
Okay.
It was a real good experience. I liked all the physical training that we did. Getting up at 5:30 in the morning, going out and jogging and doing all the exercises. I like that. And I don't really think there's any low points about the camp at all.
Well, good.
Real fun.
Okay. What are your goals, Sean?
My goal is to become a drug task force agent.
Okay. So in the federal,
yes.
Maybe a federal position. And did you have some speakers from the federal government or federal agencies this week?
Yes, we did.
Okay. Pretty diversified program this week in terms of.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Do you think this career camp is a good experience for any young person that may be interested in any form of law enforcement?
Yes, I sure do. It's a real good experience, I think.
I like, you learn a lot of stuff. A lot of agents come in and tell you about their jobs, and I like the training we had, the physical training, because I like to be in shape.
Yes.
I want to be a state trooper, and there's 3 or 4 different state troopers here that had told us about their jobs. Excise came in, the FBI, Secret Service. We were going to watch a scuba diving, but the helicopter was being used that day, and the K-9 unit didn't show up, so I was really looking forward to seeing it, but that's all right.
For kids that are going into law enforcement, what about this week do you think is good about it that gives them a good idea maybe about what they want to do?
Well, the officers tell you what the camp, like I said, the officers tell you what the camp was like and how their jobs are. And the camp is just like the academy is what they said, kind of. The training's not as hard. But you got a little class time, but not much. You take your test for your graduation, and I like it a lot. And I think everybody else should come and try it.
Your second year as a career camp counselor, can you give me some of the highlights of this week, maybe some of the things the kids did?
First of all, the kids checked in on Monday morning, and from then we taught them how to make their beds with 45-degree corners. We do PT in the morning. We get them up and everybody runs and does calisthenics. We go to class. We're in class for a few hours a day. Different agencies come in and talk to the kids and tell them a little bit about their agency, and try to get kids interested and give them a little overview of what their job would be if they were interested in that type of field.
Okay. Do you think you see some growth out of some of the kids during the week? Maybe some of them getting a little better or a little worse, giving up? Well, what do you see?
Oh yeah, we've seen a lot of growth this week. Kids come in and we get them straightened out, get them whipped into shape, and by the end of the week they're standing at attention and sir and ma'am to the people that they come in contact with, and give them a little bit of discipline and teach them respect for their elders and as well as their fellow campers.
And the state police puts a lot of man hours into this camp. Do you think it's man hours well spent, and why?
Yes, I do. I was a camper myself once, and that's what really got me interested in the field of law enforcement and the state police in general. And I feel that with this camp, it will give other kids that opportunity as well.
Scott, you say this is your 5th year working our Indiana State Police Career Camp. Can you tell me some of the highlights of this week and some of your experiences in the past?
Well, we always have a good time here, and we see the kids come a long way. They get here a little apprehensive, but by the end of the week, they're pretty much motivated and feel a lot of confidence in themselves.
You do see some growth out of the young people then during the week?
Oh, definitely. You see a lot of maturity within a week's period. Yes, we do.
Now, I don't know if the Illinois State Police does a program like this or not, but do you feel like the Indiana State Police use of the manpower and man hours of this program is worthwhile, and why?
Oh, definitely. I know the Illinois State Police doesn't have a program like this, and I feel honored to have the opportunity to come over and serve with the Indiana State Police, the fine organization that they are. And I like to work with the young kids.
Yeah,
okay. Sarah is a lot like you and me. She loves pepperoni pizza and spy novels. She likes her work. She doesn't drink or do drugs. And one day, just like you and me,
Get the keys. Friends don't let friends drive drunk. Picasso painted the old guitarist during a period of depression that lasted 4 years. His blue period. Today, with new discoveries, 80% of depressive disorders are being successfully treated, giving hope to millions that maybe now, nobody has to have a blue period.
Welcome back to the show. We're in a different part of the Indiana State Police Youth Education and Historical Center. We're here at what we call the training room. And if you can look around as the camera pans, there's several maps and different things on the wall, such as signs and a big map of the United States with different patches on it, where different agencies have sent patches to the state police. And standing behind me is a big mural of the state of Indiana, where it signifies all the different state police posts throughout the state. And once again, our tour guide for the day is Master Trooper Dave Verhonick, and he's going to give us a little bit of information on what you can see if you come here to the Youth Education and Historical Center.
Well, yes, Ray. Our Youth Education and Historical Center has been open for about 3 years now. And what we have on display here are a number of old state police cars. We have a 38 Chevrolet, a 50 Chevy, a 57 Ford, and really what we try to do is get a police car from each decade. We have a few hands-on kinds of things here at the museum for young people. We have a two-headed police car where kids can get in the car and, yeah, two-headed.
And what is that about?
Well, it's an educational tool that we use, Ray. We have kids come in and we let them get in this car and turn on the red lights and the siren, and they can actually talk to each other from one driver compartment to another, and they kind of enjoy that.
So the kids probably get a huge kick out of that, being able to get on a real police radio and turn the lights on.
Yes.
What are some of the other things that you can do here? anybody book a tour here?
Sure. We're open 8 to 4 Monday through Friday, but we also extend our hours for any group that may want to come in. We have a lot of homeschool groups, senior citizens groups, school groups that come into our museum. We even have scout nights here set up just especially for scouts, and some of the scout groups that come in here actually earn merit badges for their participation in our museum.
And what type of badges can they earn from coming here?
Well, it's a scout badge. I can't really speak to the specifics of that, but we've got a lot. It's an educational museum, Ray. So what we try to do is we have a lot of displays about police work. Each one of our specialty teams have a display in here. Our bomb squad, our ERT team, our SWAT teams, and our scuba teams. And what happens is we teach the kids about what police try to do. You know, help. To whatever the group is interested in.
As far as that tornado room, I'm kind of familiar with that room.
You're the star.
I think there's a video of someone I know near and dear in there.
Yes.
Now, what about some of the other things on the other side of the building, such as some of the older displays, like the Dillinger display maybe?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, of course, we're a historical museum, so John Dillinger, back in the 30s, we have some artifacts from his Dillinger Museum down in Nashville, Indiana. It's not his, but it's a Dillinger Museum. And we teach that crime doesn't pay. Dillinger obviously led a short life because of the crimes that he'd committed, but a lot of our state police officers have donated things from throughout the years, and beginning with our founding in 1933 all the way up to present time. So the only thing I can say is come see for yourself.
And can you tell us exactly where this building is located?
Yeah, we're at 8500 East 21st Street, just real close to the I-70 and Post Road exit. We're at the far east side of the State Police Complex, and the building is clearly marked Youth Education and Historical Center.
Well, Dave, I want to thank you once again for giving us a brief tour of the youth center, and hopefully, we'll get a lot of viewers that want to come and visit you.
Well, we hope that's what we're here for.
Hello and welcome back. I certainly hope that you enjoyed this edition of the Indiana State Police Public Information Program and learning about more of the services that we provide to children all across the state, as well as the things that are available at the Indiana State Police Youth Education and Historical Center. Remember, it's open year-round, Monday through Friday during normal business hours, and there's no cost to come to the museum. It's one of those things in life that truly is free. So please, tune in with us again on our next program, but between now and then, you know what I'm going to say. Please remember to buckle up. The life you save may be your own or that of somebody you love. Until next time, take care and drive safely. Bye-bye.